Aloha! This is Dr. Jimmy, and once again it is still the evening, in fact it's almost 7 now, of August 11th, a Thursday. I've been trying to get all of the information revealed about Horror Nights over the past couple of weeks, done in videos for all the different Horror Nights around the world, and I got to the last big reveal, all the original content for Halloween Horror Nights 26, which came out yesterday morning. And I'm trying to get the videos out, and people keep calling me on the phone and other things. But hopefully now I will be able to wrap it up. I've already talked about all 3 of the original haunted houses in the first video. In the second video, no, mostly 2, and then just started the third one. Finished the haunted houses and went on to 3 of the scare zones in the second video. So there's only 2 scare zones and 2 shows left. I should be able to do that in 20 minutes. And if I can't, well, fuck me. I don't mean that literally. Okay, J.W. Kent. HHN tumors just mentioned something about, oh, yeah, he did that earlier. Rumors. I can't repeat that in my video. Autocorrect turned rumors into tumors. That will make Chad unhappy. Unless Kent did that himself. Anyway, I can't repeat what he sent me as a text because I didn't pick up the phone before. Because it's a rumor that's highly confidential. I've been hearing buzzing about something that may or may not happen at Horror Nights 26 that we don't know yet. So I have to keep silent because some things can't be spoken aloud until we know for sure they're really happening. Because I don't want to be spreading falsities. I don't mean foam rubber things that are... Never mind. Don't want to be spreading those. That's disturbing. What a horrible mental picture I just had. So, that's what we know. What we know for certain came out yesterday. There are 2 more scare zones that were released yesterday. I covered Survivor Die, Banshees Lair, Dead Man's Wharf, okay? There are 2 additional ones. The next one was called Vamp 1955. Vamp 1955 is set in Hollywood, and it's about teenagers in the 1950s, like on Happy Days or Grease or American Graffiti, although that was really the early 60s, but it's similar. You know, hot rodding and, you know, with the leather jackets and the milkshakes and the sock hops, you know, in the very early days of rock and roll before it really even started. Peggy Sue got married, and Marty McFly goes back to the future. All of that time of the 1950s. And they're having a homecoming, you know, queen, all of that sort of stuff. Suddenly the greasers come into town. Oh, the greasers on the motorbikes with the leather jackets and the duck-ass haircuts all slicked back with Vaseline. Ooh, always kind of scary because those are tough boys who like to smoke and drink even though they're underage. You know, like Rebel Without a Cause or what's the one with Marlon Brando? The Wild Ones especially, yeah. You know, Fonz. The Fonz was like a benevolent version of that character, but in reality those characters were kind of scary, and if you were a nerdy, ordinary kid, you didn't want to be around those guys. They might beat you up, you know, rumble and stuff. So, kind of nervous with the greasers, and they come in all nasty, scary, but they're scarier than normal because these aren't just ordinary rock and roll punks from the 50s. They're vampire rock and roll punks from the 50s. That's why Vamp 1955. And that's why I have made up my copyright nickname for the scare zone. And I've put on Twitter that I made up this nickname and I copyright it. So you can use it, but you have to not pretend you made it up yourself. It's Dr. Jimmy who first coined my special nickname for Vamp 1955. Drac to the future. Well, we're going, we don't need roads because we can fly, yeah. Drac to the future. Right, so that's the vampire scare zone. Obviously, Hollywood Boulevard, Mills Drive, and Hollywood Boulevard, same area, can't right be up Mills because there's a show up there. There's a big stage going up right now, and there will be a show up there. Therefore, it's more likely to be Hollywood Boulevard, but Mills Drive is right there, so they can utilize part of that area to some degree. But it's Hollywood. Clearly, it even says it takes place in Hollywood in the 1950s. So where else to put it but the boulevard? Clearly. Even though they didn't reveal the locations, that's my educated guess based on what the scare zones are and where they have to go. So there's one scare zone left. One left, and it's the scare zone for our icon Chance. Now, will they put it way out in... Will they put it way out in by the house? By the house in World Expo? Maybe. But I think with it being the signature icon of the event, it might be better to put it by the front. Maybe well, it used to be called Lucy Plaza, but now it's Hello Kitty Plaza. I don't know. You know, the front part of Hollywood Boulevard. Maybe what they call Plaza of the Stars. You know, that goes between Despicable Me and Shrek. That might be a good place if they could find someone. Well, they had like a show set up there once before. They had the Witch's Tower where she would cackle down and you know. So you could put up the little like a showpiece, like the Marionette Theatre, and they could do little and there's been pretty much substantiated. There'll be some sort of chance-related show material. And the only place for it would be the scare zone. And so they'll probably have some sort of little set pieces set up to do some little skits, some little scary bits. Part of the idea of the Theatre of the Mind for Chance will feature victims turned into marionettes, living puppets. And a picture of the puppet theatre was shown on the blog for this scare zone. A victim that's up in strings inside a little Theatre of the Mind, you know, the one that we see on the website with the proscenium arch and the massive comedy and tragedy and all of that. So yeah, there will be a Chance Theatre of the Mind scare zone with little puppet theatres and things going on, probably right near the front of the park. And it's called A Chance in Hell. I love that, because I used to joke about, you know, if Chance died, Jack would try to find her, but he wouldn't find her in hell because there's no chance in hell. Well, there's a chance in hell this time, but is he really in hell or just in her mind? Will Jack save her? That's my theory. By the end of the event, somehow Jack will rescue her from the asylum. And maybe she'll actually physically die so she can become a supernatural being like Jack and won't get incarcerated anymore. She can live in the music box with him and they could pop each other's weasels. Don't you love cute euphemisms? Downtown dining and entertainment district. Yeah, Whisker Biscuit. Anyway, getting back to where I was, that's the scare zones, all right? 2 shows left, only 2 shows. One of them everybody already knows, of course. Bill and Ted's Excellent Halloween Adventure. This will be the 25th annual presentation of the show, which is a bit of a landmark here for Bill and Ted, which started in '92. Therefore, this is the 25th year of Bill and Ted. And, of course, Fear Factor Auditorium. Of course, pop culture getting perforated and all sorts of things. They could talk about Olympic Games stuff, and they could talk about you know, various pop stars that might have been in the news, and internet memes and motion pictures and television programs. Oh fuck, they're going to talk about Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders a lot, you know they are. Oh God, there's so much material because this has been the wackiest election in the history of the United States. I mean, we've never seen such a circus before. Not even in some of the creative. I mean, you can look in history. There's some wild elections in the past, but this one takes the cake. Oh my God! Every time you turn around, something wacko comes out of Donald Trump's mouth, and Hillary is interesting, and Bernie Sanders was like Doc Brown, with little birds landing on him, and so all the stuff that's going on in these characters, and it's just, you couldn't have written this stuff. You couldn't have written this stuff to make a movie about it. People would think you're crazy to make up shit like that, but it's happening for real. Oh my God, you know they're going to use the election. They have to. Of course, because of controversy in previous years, they're going to have to try to be fair and balanced and try to not show Hillary or Donald in any more negative light than each other. And I think the best way to do is mock both mercilessly. That's the only way to do it. Mock both mercilessly. Because that way you can't say you're partisan one or the other. And trust me, that won't be difficult to do. Vote Gary Johnson. I'm not supporting Gary Johnson, actually, because I don't think he has a chance of winning. But if he could, if I really believed he could, he's clearly the only choice that makes any real sense. Johnson and Weld are both really, really decent politicians who are very good at running the states that they were governors of. If there was any real possibility that they could actually win. But no, I don't think they'll be mentioned in the show at all. So yeah, Clinton and Trump are sure to be part of the show. And again, because they don't want any controversy like they had in 2012, or even, you know, oh my God, you're being partisan and you're you nasty Democrat liberal creeps. You're putting on a show that's clearly meant to attack Mitt Romney. Well, you should have seen the one in Hollywood when they did the Book of Mormon parody. But they didn't complain about that one, only about the one in Orlando. Anyway, so, yeah, mock both mercilessly. That's my answer. If Jason Horn is watching this, if whoever is writing this, whoever is making this, yes, use the politics, obviously, use this election, how can you not? But mock both mercilessly. That's the only way you can get away with it. And they sort of deserve it. Oh. Right. Now, let me think. Bill and Ted, yes. There will be a Bill and Ted show, of course. And the other show takes place on the main stage, which is currently being set up at the top of Hollywood Boulevard. And they will probably, if they dress the set for Horror Nights now, for a test, they'll probably take it down and then have use for Rock the Universe secondary stage. That makes sense. And then after that's done, they'll redress it for Horror Nights. But it won't be an original show like Carnage last year. This is a dance troupe, but not the Jabberwockies. There was rumor the Jabberwockies were coming to Orlando. Apparently they're staying in Hollywood. It hasn't been officially announced yet, but it was leaked by the Jabberwockies themselves on Instagram a couple of days ago that they're going back to Hollywood. So we know the Jabberwockies are going back to Hollywood. There's a different dance troupe, less familiar with it. It's called the Academy of Villains. And apparently they got a number of different troupes, one in San Francisco, one in Los Angeles, California-based, and they're very theatrical, lots of acrobatics mixed in with the dance and with a lot of horror narrative into their story. There's one that did a Nosferatu show, a Day of the Dead show, lots of other horror circus and creepy themed shows. So they're used to doing horror themed shows with acrobatics and special effects. It sounds like it's tailor-made for Horror Nights. I've not seen them yet myself. I understand the San Francisco and Los Angeles troupe gave 2 different shows on 2 different nights last year. In Hollywood, after Jabberwockies was done on November 1st, which was the last night of the event, originally in Hollywood, they then extended Hollywood's event to the 7th of November. Well, they didn't extend us in Orlando, but they extended it in Hollywood for an extra weekend. And on those 2 extra weekend nights, the dance show they did was Academy of Villains. 2 different versions, one from LA, one from San Francisco. And so there's some YouTube videos. You can take a look at what they did last year on those 2 nights. And from what people who saw it told me they liked it. So I haven't seen it myself. I'll have to go check it out. But they do a lot. I looked at their website, though, and they do a lot of stage theatricality and makeup and horror makeup, horror effects. It should be an interesting show. Apparently it's going to be a brand new show because it's not listed in any of the shows they've established on the website. And they've got all kinds of horror-themed things like Nosferatu, Day of the Dead, various horror themes, but the one that they're doing here is called House of Fear. And that might be a totally new show. Maybe one they wrote just for horror nights. That'd be nice. Do something a bit original. So we're anticipating that. What is that going to be like? It might be, there might be some sexy dancers and some scary bits and some acrobatics and fire and special effects. It's not that different from Jack's Carnage, except probably not so many, murders. Oh well. But it still might be fun nevertheless. Not one that I would see over and over and over again, though, but at least once or twice to get an idea, unless they change it up a little bit and throw in some extra stuff. But I don't think I'd obsessively watch it over and over like I did with the Carnage show. Also, I probably wouldn't actually know any of the performers in the show like I did with the Carnage show, which is another reason to see it more often. So that's it then. 3 new houses. All original, 3 new original houses were announced yesterday. 5 scare zones announced yesterday, 2 shows. We do have 1 more house announcement coming for Orlando, and also a maze in Hollywood. I strongly suspect the same intellectual property is involved in both places. Something to go gaga over, maybe. As for scare zones, Aiello did give us another little bit of tidbit. He said, in addition to the set scare zone, there are still roaming hordes to be announced. Oh, that sounds like Chainsaw Drill Team to me. But what kind of Chainsaw Drill Team? We had 3 different kinds last year. The regular original flavor, the Mashorian Prisoner Lady, Orange is the New Black flavor, and a brand new Tutti Frutti Crazy Clown Saw Drill Team flavor last year that was so wild it became the hit of the street event. It was like Street of the Year last year. And so, will they bring the clowns back? Will they have the prisoners? Will they have something else totally new and different with chainsaws this year? I've been hearing all kinds of rumors buzzing around. I don't know. I honestly don't know, because there's rumors about different things, and sometimes they conflict with each other. And if they contradict, then which one is true? Maybe none of them. Maybe all of them? I still don't even know if it's going to be 1 horde, probably with chainsaws, or 3, because I've heard both. And Aiello said roaming hordes, plural, so that says more than 1, but how many? So I asked him, did you use the plural on purpose in the tweet? And he hasn't gotten back to me on that, so I don't know yet if he's going to answer it, or he might just be, quiet and make me or suspenders. I don't know. Because I don't know everything. I can't know everything. That would be wrong. And if I did, I wouldn't tell you. But not anymore. No cryptic shit from Jimmy. I'll just tell you, or not, I'll tell you I don't know. And I don't know in this case. I really don't. I wonder. But it's something with chainsaws I'm expecting. But what? It could be the same things we've had before. The clowns were so popular last year, it wouldn't surprise me at all if they brought them back. But there might be something else entirely. But what? Someone said something about the last thing you'd expect with a chainsaw. I don't know. Cockroach? They did exterminate us last year. Who knows? I have no idea what will be the last thing you'd expect with a chainsaw. And of course the person who said that may be full of crap. You never know. So we'll have to wait and see until, and hopefully we'll find out something soon, because they're leaving a few little things to announce later, of course. So we have 1 house, at least 1 roaming horde, maybe more, probably with chainsaws, we don't know. I think that's it for the shows. So that's the reveal we got yesterday. Quite a lot, but there's more to come, which is always good, because, we don't want to have everything right away. We still have 36 days before Horror Nights, at least here in the United States. Oh, joy. And you never know when the next reveal is going to be. Could be real soon. And then we'll find out everything else And it's really great to know that we have 5 set scare zones, some roaming hordes, 2 shows, and at least 9 houses this year. What fun. So, until whenever I make my next video, which might be later tonight, because I have to do cocktails for all the new houses we learned about, beginning with Krampus, which we learned about last week, but haven't done the cocktails for that yet. So sometime later tonight, let's get drunk with Krampus.